Hey, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Shanae and today we're going to make macaron cake. And since it's almost Halloween, I thought we'll make a spooky one. And today's video is sponsored by Bob's Red Mill, an employee-owned company committed to providing the highest quality, minimally processed products. And today I'm going to use the almond flour and we'll go ahead and start making our shells. For macaron shells, we will need almond flour, powdered sugar, regular sugar, cream of tartar, salt, egg whites, and black food coloring. First, we'll go ahead and sift our dry ingredients. Almond flour. Bob's Red Mill has two types of almond flour. One is regular almond flour and one is super fine almond flour. For making macarons, super fine almond flour is the best. They're super smooth and super fine and doesn't have any of the almond skin, so it makes it really nice smooth shells. And into the almond flour we're going to add powdered sugar and we'll have to sift the dry ingredients 3 times. It's very important to get that nice fluffy shells with smooth tops. See, there's not much left, just a few lumps. You can find Bob's Red Mill almond flour at any grocery store. They're very accessible. And third time, we don't sift it just yet. We'll sift it into the meringue. And now I'm going to start making the meringue. I have many videos where I describe the meringue process in detail. And I also have a meringue 101 video and I'll link it up here. Go ahead and watch it, but I'm not gonna go into the detail of making meringue this time. I whip the meringue low and slow for about 20 minutes. I will whip it until foamy. I will add cream of tartar and salt once it's foamy, continue whipping it. Once the foams are a little denser, I will start adding sugar 1 tablespoon at a time. And once it gets to the soft peak stage, I'll show you and we'll move on to the next step. So my meringue is at soft peak stage. I'll show you what that means. When you lift the whisk, the peak is droopy like this. This is really soft peak, and I'm going to scrape the side just to make sure all the sugar melts evenly throughout the meringue. Nothing stays in the bowl. And since we're making Halloween cake, I'm going to make it black. We need 1 teaspoon of black food coloring. Make sure to use gel one. And we're going to whip it for a little longer until it reaches stiff peaks, and I'll show you what that means. So my meringue is ready. You want your meringue ball up inside your whisk, and when you lift it, the points should be super sharp, and I'm looking for this nice sharp ridges in my meringue, and that's how I know my meringue is ready. So now I'm going to sift my dry ingredients into the meringue. Now I'm going to start macaronage. At the beginning, the batter will be super stiff, and then as you fold, it will thin out, and I will show you exactly when to stop mixing the batter. If you overmix it, you won't get nice shells. They will spread out too much and cause all sorts of problems. So it's very important to mix it just enough. And I forgot to mention that I am making 2 batches of this recipe. With 1 batch, you get 3 layers of macaron shells. And in my recipe testing and working on the concept of the idea, I realized that 3 layers is just not enough. It's fine. I'll show you. It was just a little too small for my liking. So I want to make it 6 layers. And that way it looks super nice and tall, spooky and festive. You can double my basic macaron recipe, but since I live in a dry climate, my macaron shells dry really fast, and that's why I make them separately. So my macaron batter is almost ready. To test the batter, scoop out in the silicone mat and drop the batter into a ribbon. And I like to watch for my 10-second test. I drop it and then I tilt the bowl a little bit and count till 10. And if the edges of the batter melts back into the rest of the batter within about 8 to 10 seconds, it's perfect. Don't mix it anymore. If it melts way too fast, like let's say about 5 seconds, that means your batter is slightly overmixed, so don't mix it anymore. If the ridges are still there after 10 seconds, fold a couple more times and test it again. I have my piping bag with round tip. I'm using 2A tip. Place it in a tall glass like this so it's easier to transfer the batter. So I have my baking sheet with parchment paper. I also made this template 5.5-inch circles. If you go to the link in the description below, you'll be able to download it for free. We're going to pipe the macaron shells a little bit differently. We're going to actually pipe into a spiral. Let me just show you instead of trying to explain. Just gently spiral with an even pressure. Stop the pressure and lift. This one kind of come out a little uneven, which is fine. And then we're going to tap, remove the template, and I'm going to use a toothpick to just make it a little more even. Now we will rest the shells for about 10-15 minutes until the skin forms on top. When you touch it, the batter shouldn't stick to your fingers. And then I'm going to bake it for about 23-25 minutes at 300 degrees. And I'll show you when they come out. While the macaron shells are baking, let's make the filling. For the filling, I'm going to use cream cheese filling because it's really easy filling. And for that, we'll need cream cheese, butter, powdered sugar, a little bit cocoa powder, salt, and red food coloring, because I think it will be really cool to have red and black theme going, and we need quite a bit of red food jello coloring to make it bright color. And as you have learned from my red velvet macarons, the trick to getting that beautiful rich color is to add a little bit cocoa powder or brown food coloring. So let's go ahead and make the filling. For the filling, we'll just go ahead and whip the cream cheese and butter until nice and smooth and fluffy. So my cream cheese mixture is really nice and fluffy. I'm going to scrape the sides, push everything down. Then I'm going to add powdered sugar, cocoa powder, and salt. And start with very low speed and then whisk it until it's nice and well combined. Once all the dry ingredients are combined, go ahead and add your food coloring. And now let's go ahead and scrape the sides down really well so that everything is combined. So my filling is ready. I'm going to transfer it into a piping bag fitted with round tip. Both of my macaron batches came out, and this one is still cooling. You can make little spiders. I even played around to create the feet. It looks super cute. You don't need many because it's not a big cake. Let's peel this off. You want to make sure your macarons are completely cooled before you try to take it off from parchment paper. Looks perfect. Look at that. Let's start with this cooled one. Put it in the center. And we'll pipe the frosting into dollops of frosting all around. And don't be afraid to go all the way edges so that they show up better. I'm going to fill it all the way inside, but you can play around with different kinds of fillings. You can put caramel sauce, lemon curd, or whatnot in the center. It will be really delicious, but today I'm going to use all cream cheese. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to put the second layer. Make sure to level it and dry it on top. These are still slightly warm, and I just broke it. Looks so pretty. Now I'm going to put one more layer. Well, I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to use the last shell because I just dig a hole in it, and I think 5 layers is perfect. I don't want to go any higher. Well, I could go any higher, but it might be too much to cut. We still want it to be practical, right? So now I'm going to put this in the fridge to set, and then I'll come back to do the final decoration. It's going to be so fun. And since we didn't use this last shell, I thought I would show you how it looks inside. Beautiful, fluffy, nice and full. I'm just gonna try it. Perfect. For the final decoration, we're going to use marshmallows to create a spider web. And I have some candy eyes and the spiders that we made with macaron shells and a little bit leftover icing. So first I want to draw a few dollops. That should do. Now I'm going to microwave this marshmallows for about 15-30 seconds. I will check after 15 seconds and then mix it if I need to, and then put it back in for about 15 seconds again, and until it's nice and melted. So my marshmallow looks like this. I like to use fork for this step because the spoon gets too much on it. And I also like to use gloves because it's a messy step right now. And meanwhile, the marshmallows are gonna cool down a little bit because we don't wanna touch and burn ourselves with a super hot marshmallow. Grab a pinch or so like this, and then spread it around so that you get thin strands, and then just smear it all over the cake. Do take more marshmallows than you think you might need because they get super sticky really fast. Ooh, this is too big. I think this is good. I like it. And now I'll just put a few candy eyes. Super fun. And then let's put this spider right here. I feel like spider needs an eye. Super fun. And of course, we can't dive in right now because we need to mature the cake for at least 8 hours. I would say 8 hours is plenty because we have a lot of filling and we're using really wet filling. In about 8 hours, I will be able to cut in and give it a taste test. Since I can't do it right now, I will include the clip and I'll show you how it looks. If you are new to making macarons, definitely check out my basic macaron video here, and I will also include my Master Your Macarons series right here, so click on those and I'll see you next time. Bye.